How did a struggling franchise that almost vanished during World War II evolve into one of the NFL's most iconic teams, moving from Cleveland to LA, then St. Louis and back again, winning Super Bowls and redefining the sport with each era? This is the narrative of the Los Angeles Rams, a story that takes place throughout the United States, spans decades, and exemplifies the NFL franchise's tenacity and rebirth. Come along with us as we explore every period of Rams history, getting to know the figures and great players that influence not only this squad, but football in general. Cleveland's lowly origins, 1936 to 1945. Our narrative begins in 1936, when the Rams made their debut in Cleveland, Ohio, rather than Los Angeles. Before entering the NFL a year later, the Rams played in the American Football League, AFL, which was still in its infancy. They had a difficult start, winning only one game during their first season in the NFL. No squad was guaranteed to survive in the brutal sport of football. Due to the league's rosters being depleted by World War II, the Rams briefly ceased operations in 1943. Bob Waterfield, a rookie quarterback, was the Rams' hidden weapon when they took the field again in 1945. The Rams won their first NFL championship game under Waterfield's leadership, defeating the Washington Redskins by a slim margin of 15-14. However, owner Dan Reeves saw a chance to broaden the team's appeal as World War II came to an end. The significant relocation to Los Angeles, 1946 to 1959. The Rams were the first NFL club headquartered on the West Coast when they relocated to Los Angeles in 1946. Reeves made the audacious choice to leave Cleveland because he saw California's enormous potential. Fans adored the Rams, who became a spectacle in the city. The Rams unveiled the first NFL helmet logo, a groundbreaking idea in football, here in Los Angeles. The Rams established an image that would come to represent the franchise by having horns painted on their helmets. With quarterback Norm Van Brocklin and legendary receivers Elroy Crazy Legs, Hirsch, and Tom Fears, the Rams assembled an entertaining club in the 1950s that was renowned for its potent attack. This combination turned out to be fatal. The Rams defeated the Cleveland Browns 24-17 in 1951 to earn their second NFL championship. The Rams were in their prime at this time, setting attendance records that other teams wanted to beat. The rise of a defense and the fearsome foursome, 1960 to 1969. By the 1960s, the Rams' defense, more especially their front line nicknamed as the fearsome foursome, had come to define them. Four guys that caused havoc on offensive lines were part of this legendary lineup: Merlin Olsen, Rosie Greer, Deacon Jones, and Lamar Lundy. With one of the league's most formidable defenses currently in place, the Rams could make any game into a defensive contest. Leading the offensive was quarterback Roman Gabriel, whose power and stature enhanced the Rams' defensive prowess. Even though the Rams didn't make it to the Super Bowl during this time, they nevertheless captivated fans nationwide. They were a dynamic squad, full of character and perseverance. 1970 to 1980, a decade of dominance and near misses. For the Rams, the 1970s were a time of steady prosperity. With outstanding records and a winning culture, they qualified for the playoffs 8 times in a row from 1973 to 1980. Jack Youngblood, who memorably played a playoff game despite having a broken leg, spearheaded the Rams' fearsome defense and exemplified the team's tenacity. After a 9-7 season, the Rams rode a wave of underdog excitement to their first Super Bowl appearance in 1979. Although they fell to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the end, this game solidified the Rams' reputation as a tough, competitive team. The explosive 1980s, 1981 to 1989, and Eric Dickerson, one of the NFL's most formidable players, running back Eric Dickerson, emerged as a new star in the 1980s. Dickerson established an all-time record in 1984 when he ran for 2,105 yards in a single season. With playoff participation in 7 of the 10 years of the decade, the Rams once again found success behind Dickerson's iconic performance. However, Throughout the 1980s, the Rams never returned to the Super Bowl. Fans questioned if the squad would ever win the coveted championship after every postseason defeat. A Super Bowl miracle and the transfer to St. Louis, 1990 to 1999. The Rams failed to establish steady success during the start of the 1990s. Georgia Frontier, the club's owner, decided to relocate the franchise to St. Louis, Missouri in 1995 due to financial strains and waning fan support. At first glance, the Rams' time in St. Louis seemed grim. The squad only won 4 games in 1998 as they suffered through losing seasons. However, it would all change in 1999. A squad known as the greatest show on turf was unleashed by the Rams in one of the NFL's most unexpected comebacks. The Rams produced an incredible 13-3 regular season under the leadership of quarterback Kurt Warner, who had just been stacking supermarket shelves a few years before. With players like Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Faulk, their explosive offense was unstoppable. In Super Bowl 34, the Rams won their first Super Bowl championship after defeating the Tennessee Titans 23-16. Warner, who personified the Rams' ascent and spirit of the underdog, went from being unknown to a household name. A return to LA with ups and downs, 2000 to 2015. Into the early 2000s, the Rams' offense was lighting up the field. In 2002, they made it back to the Super Bowl, but lost a thrilling contest to the New England Patriots. However, a deterioration occurred during the next several years as a result of coaching changes, roster changes, and injuries. By the end of the 2000s, the Rams were in the lower tiers of the league once again. Owner Stan Kroenke said in 2015 that the club will return to Los Angeles, where a new stadium was to be built. After their return to Los Angeles was authorized, the Rams moved back to California in 2016. Super Bowl 56 and the McVay era, 2016 to 2022. Following the signing of 30-year-old head coach Sean McVay in 2017, the Rams' fortunes quickly improved. McVay, who is well known for his creative offense and exuberant personality, brought the squad back to life. The Rams ended a 13-year skid by making the playoffs in his rookie season. They made it back to the Super Bowl in 2018, but lost to the New England Patriots in a low-scoring game. The Rams kept adding elite players to their squad. They acquired experienced quarterback Matthew Stafford in a trade in 2021. They created a squad to win now that season by adding important players like Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller. The Rams played the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 56, which was played at SoFi Stadium, their home stadium. The Rams won their second Super Bowl championship and completed an incredible comeback narrative for the organization in an exciting game that went right down to the end. Taking a forward view. The Rams are a team that now represents tenacity, creativity, and the essence of football. They have endured decades of highs and lows, seen Hall of Fame careers, and produced moments that will never be forgotten, solidifying their place in NFL history. Conclusion. Despite the odds, the Rams have always been a club that isn't afraid to take chances, aim for greatness, and reinvent themselves. And who knows what additional chapters this legendary series will have as they continue to shape their future. I appreciate you seeing. If you enjoyed this insightful video, please consider subscribing for more in-depth looks into exploration and history.